drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sports shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Yeah, right. The dynamic duo. We're back.
We're back.
Relaunching the relaunch.
Austin Orman, you made it through, my friend. Listen, we missed you, but we're grateful that you're able to overcome the pain of the appendix.
It's gone. It is not coming back.
It's not coming back.
It's done. It's over with.
No preservation?
Nope, no preservation.
Mm-hmm.
For something that's apparently the size of your pinky, it can mess you up.
Yeah, that little old thing could actually do. But that goes to show you, right, that it's not always the big things, right? So when we even talk about sports, that's some of the things that we talk about. And we can also hear this with Coach Rule in the press conference. If you look at it on the surface, I mean, I know we're going to be able to touch it briefly, but if you look at it on the surface, you can say the same thing about what transpired against the Purdue, Nebraska, in the Purdue Nebraska game. When you look at the defense, you look at the fact that they have not held a team under 200 yards, both in passing and rushing combined, since like 2014 or 2012.
2012 Michigan.
2012. So that's something when you're talking about little things, and that's what I think I can appreciate as we begin to talk about the Husker football game, and we'll get into it, is that Rule is just not looking at a number or the numbers, and us from the outside looking in, he's actually wanting to be better, not actually going and he's dealing with anything on the offensive side, taking into account and holding accountable the defense, and still wanting them to be greater than they are right now.
That's just the thing. He said in his press conference today, this is a great jumping off point, that they allow 14 points, they allow fewer than 200 total yards, less than 100 each, like you're saying, and yet he still thinks that wasn't their best performance.
Yeah.
That the numbers lie to some degree. That there were plays out there that Purdue didn't make, that Nebraska got a little lucky that Purdue didn't make in some cases, or that Nebraska recovered from, right? The two that he mentioned in the press conference today were Isaac Gifford, who gets beat but then makes the recovery with his hands up, throws it up in the way, and Tommy Hill's first interception. Deep ball thrown into the wind that the wind just absolutely killed. So maybe it's luck. Maybe it's, hey, Purdue made the wrong play call at the wrong time. Regardless, Nebraska made the play. They made plays basically all day again, that defense did. And yet they can still get better.
Yeah.
If you can still get better going into November, the biggest month of your season right now, that's a good place to be.
Absolutely. And I think there was another play that I recall. Shout out to Quentin Newsome as well, who had Big Ten
special teams
player of the week, and which is phenomenal in that the recovery. You've got to shout out to him and the recovery and the save on the first play from scrimmage, which was the fumble. I mean, look, one other thing that I'll take note of real quick is I'm impressed when you had so many people that were out. So many guys that was not able or available for this game, especially on the line. You didn't have a lot of penalties.
No.
I think it was like 1 for 10, which is good, right? So, I mean, I don't want to always just look at the grand scheme of it all. I like to look there sometimes, but I also like to look at these little tidbits that you can also, get a good look at growth and getting better at. Because, you would think there would be more problems there in that area.
On the line, I'm glad you brought that up. Relatively penalty-free, especially for that group. But Matt Rule said as well, 3 sacks taken, only 1 of them on the offensive line. Matt Rule put 2 of them on his quarterback, saying just get the ball out.
Yeah.
For that patchwork offensive line with a guy in Justin Evans, Jenkins, playing guard where he's played before. Lutovsky in there, Teddy Prohaska, his first real extended action. Ben Scott, who practiced all week banged up after he was hurt last week against Northwestern. And Bryce Benhart. I thought he got toasted once or twice, but he, for the most part, held up. Donovan Raiola said it, the line plays as a unit, right? It's not as simple as plug and play. I mean, the Strick, you played on a court with 4 other guys.
Yeah.
You have each guy in their job, but how all 5 work together, sometimes the chemistry matters almost more than the play call.
That's a great point because there was a part that with the Dallas Mavericks, we actually probably would have made the playoffs, but we implemented Dennis Rodman into the mix. The chemistry then changes. You have 4 basically playing with 1 not in sync. And then you have a 10 losses that accumulate out of that, which we end up, I think, missing the playoffs by 4 games. So that's a great point, to make.
We'll keep talking Huskers and Purdue here in hour 1 of the show. If you have any thoughts, let us know. 402-464-5685. Wet blanket, you have something I want to get to next. And that's what's sustainable, what's not for this Husker team. As they're 1 win away from bowl eligibility, Matt Rule doesn't want to look big picture, right, Trick? He wants to bear down every week. Process.
And that goes back to the what?
1% better every day.
Every day.
Yes, sir. So we'll get into that. What can Nebraska keep going through November? What are we watching out for to say, watch out for this? Let us know your thoughts too. 402-464-5685. And a big thank you to Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul for sponsoring our show. He's Eric Strickland. He's Austin Norman. More of On the Block when we get back.
Are you looking for a night of epic fun without breaking the bank? Look no further than Sun Valley Lanes and Games. Join us for our late night special every Sunday through Thursday night and enjoy nonstop action with our Unlimited Fun promotion. Unlimited Fun includes everything you need for an unforgettable night out. Unlimited bowling, unlimited laser tag, and unlimited lucky putt mini golf. Show a valid college or military ID at check-in and get $2 off your admission. Visit the daily rates page at sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Sun Valley.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Rick Heyman, president of Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I'm inviting you to stop by any of our 3 great locations to see why we have been voted best of for decades. We're a 4-generation jewelry company that refuses to compromise on quality or service. If you're in the market for anything for anyone special, nothing, and I mean nothing, says it better than Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Sartor Heyman Jewelers since 1905 in Lincoln and Grand Island.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Fall is officially here, which means it's the perfect time to get outdoors and stay moving. If you're someone who enjoys going on walks in fall weather, but you notice heel pain in your foot when you wake up, it could be a sign of plantar fasciitis. A visit to Fleet Feet Lincoln can help you find the shoes and inserts you need to avoid that pain. Their Fit ID machine takes a 3D image of your feet and picks the shoes that work best for you. Visit Fleet Feet Lincoln, located off of 70th and Pioneers Boulevard, so you can stay moving.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza. The big one. All the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Austin Norman, Eric Strickland on the block, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Weekdays from 2 to 4 here. Also streaming worldwide on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. We've also got Allo channel 951. If you subscribe to our friends at Allo, who also sponsor our VIP line, we'll talk to Brian Munson on that in about an hour. Allo Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. All right, Strick, let's just start with the text line here. Wet Blanket asks or says, the fact that this team is playing better with roughly the same players is my greatest source of optimism. Find me one player whose performance has regressed. I can't think of any. Ty Robinson, Hutmacher look like new players. Newsom was good last year, is getting better. Gifford went from just a guy to someone who looks like an NFL player. O-line still isn't great, but is limiting drive killing sacks and penalties. Let's not forget Matt Rule and his staff did bring in 40 new players. And there's a lot of those guys that are contributing right now at some key positions. But the development and the guys whose names we know haven't taken big steps back, right? Ty Robinson's playing good football. Nash Hutmacher is out there. Bryce Benhart, a guy we brought up, he was much maligned his first few years. He's been actually pretty solid. For the most part.
Here's the other one. You ready? Tristan Alvano. Like
huge
from where from where he started to, I mean, look, he had the win with him, so I don't care, but plenty of leg at 55 yards through the uprights. So you can tell the confidence is getting better there. I mean, I would say a lot of people are getting better, but here's the other part, and then let's stay on that, and I want to get to the part. Just remind me, Harburg.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead. I want to stay on the question from Web Blanket. Go ahead.
Yeah. So to me, is that sustainable? I think it is. Right. Nebraska got good players in the building, and they're getting the most out of them. This is what this staff promised it was going to do. It didn't say we're going to try to get the best out of them. It didn't say we'll see what we can do with these guys. Matt Rule said, if you're in my program, you're one of my players. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to do everything in my power to make you a better football player. They said they're going to use the whole roster. Look what they're doing on defense. Look what they've been forced to do on offense. They can't just devote time to the ones and a couple key twos. They've had to develop up and down that roster because of injuries, because of attrition. This is what this staff said it was going to do. And through 8 games, Strick, they're starting to deliver on that promise.
You have to love the fact that this team, with all of the adversity in their first year, finds himself in the position that they're in right now, right? Now this is 2 things. One question that I'm going to throw out to you is this: would you have expected, with the adversity, the injuries, the switches, the changes, the way it looked from the start to what it is now, for them to be at 5-3?
No.
I would venture to say, and if anybody really without the Kool-Aid believed that was the case, please tell me how and why you thought that was the case at 402-464-5685, because I'm going to be honest, this team could have went in the tank. Now, you saw the bad loss against Colorado. We talked about the bang or bust opportunity with them and the high trajectory. And you talked about I talked about the slowness of how they can still ascend to the same level. Just the process of it may be a little bit more slow. I just rode on a plane this morning. To me, we got to 30,000. Just like a supersonic jet, an F-16, an F-14, an F-18, whatever. We got there. But it just took a little time. I think that this is the trajectory. I think it's a good trajectory, but I also love the development of it, because you had to look at that room, look at what you had. It's like getting a poker hand, and you're like, good gosh, this is ugly. And you kind of just try to finagle and make something work, and then you end up with a low straight, because you just said, hey, I'm just going to take what I got, try to work something out of it, and boom, the flop comes out in your favor, and you end up with a low straight that wins the pot. I think that's what Nebraska is looking at right now. Now, you like the things that are Harburg that's doing this. Now, I'm going to get to that now.
Yeah, get to it.
But it's not sustainable in only 11 pass attempts. That's one. And I'm going to let you address it. It's not sustainable with 19 carries. And your guy, Emmett Johnson, has 13 carries for 76 yards. Give the man the ball. It's not sustainable, Harburg. I love you. I love you. You're 5-1. I'm with you. I'm rolling. But it's not sustainable when you're running option. You turn up one time. You did the right thing. Pitch was not there. But boy, another safety comes up and the late pitch is there, but you don't do it. That's the stuff you got to see on film, because that's how big plays are made. Don't think only about yourself at that point. They're still, and what's the play called? Option. So, okay, the option wasn't there at the first look, but the option is still available to you. And there was one situation where, boy, Emmett Johnson, or I think it might have been Grant, but he was right there. And the safety comes up, and there was nobody else. You take you get hit and get tackled. So I'm thinking about those things as far as the sustainability part of it. Yeah.
To that point, Heinrich Harburg missed the drive that Jeff Sims came in for because his lip was bloodied. Looked a lot like what happened to Adrian Martinez against Michigan State when he had to have his jaw wired shut. Right. Or Smothers came in.
Smothers, yes, right.
In 2021. I would say this to Heinrich Harburg. The 11 pass attempts, that's more Marcus Satterfield, right? Calling the shots when he thinks they're supposed to, when they need to. And to Harburg's credit, 6 of 11, that's 54%, but you made more than you missed. You hit the big one that was there for the touchdown.
And Doss dropped one that was right in
right
his
there.
freaking bread box. Okay, sorry.
Doss should have had that one, but you hit the big third down conversion to Doss. You hit the quick flip touchdown to Fedoni and the deep shot to Jalen Lloyd. You took what was available for the most part. I'd like to see more passing because teams are going to start keying on the run like we saw. Purdue guarded the option better than any team has so far.
Yeah.
But if that's going to be the case, you don't lean on the option when your quarterback is averaging 1.2 yards per carry. Right. 19 carries for 22 yards. That's not effective. The long of 15, okay, you busted a longish one, but let your running backs take those hits. That's what they're there for. Get the ball to those guys. Get it in their hands. And I'm not saying to, make them just take the hits, but they're better at making people miss. Anthony Grant, Emmett Johnson have more shiftiness than Heinrich Harburg. They know how to not get hit hard. They know how to take those glancing blows. Heinrich Harburg, when he tries to change direction, Strick, stands straight up. It's his first move. He gets popped, he gets hit hard, and that puts the ball at more risk because he's not covering it nearly as much. Emmett Johnson, Anthony Grant, even if it is a late pitch, my first instinct when you said late pitch was there was, how many times did we see a hero play from Adrian Martinez? But it doesn't have to be a hero play. It can be, hey, I dribbled past the guy at half court. It wasn't the right move to pass it. Now the guy's coming up to guard me in the 2-on-1 about the free throw line. Now I dish it off, layup for the next guy.
Yeah, it's just little, but it's going back to the little things. Just little things like that. If you can continue to grow out of them, because right now, I talked about it last week. I said, this is what I'm hoping to see out of them is turnovers and special teams opportunities. That's what happened. That's what they did. They went out, fumble, block punt, kick, field goal, 2 interceptions. That's the type of stuff that gives you an opportunity. But then to seal the game, guess who they go to? Little Emmett Johnson. Little Emmett Johnson started, getting up in them holes, getting first downs. The big one was the save that led to a 15. That's impressive. A 15 play, like 80-something yard, 87 yard. That's huge
for the first touchdown.
Yeah, those are the things you want to continue to see.
Absolutely. In terms of sustainable versus not sustainable, the reason I have some concern for Nebraska heading into November, Strick, I don't say this to rain on the parade. It's fun. Nebraska is winning. This is great. Let's keep it up. Everything is on the table for this team in November. I go to what Matt Rule says. The team hasn't arrived yet. You're not there. You've only won 5 games. You still have a month of the season left to go. Let's not anoint anyone. Let's not crown anyone. Let's take it a week at a time. The fumbles scare the daylights out of me.
Gosh.
The fumbles, Strick, I just keep waiting for them to bite Nebraska. It did again. Maybe Nebraska got it out of the way. Maybe it happened at Minnesota and Colorado, and Nebraska's luck has completely changed since then. But you put it on the carpet a few times against Illinois, and you survive. We know the interceptions in the fumble that didn't bite you then against Northwestern.
Defense saved you a couple times.
Times. And then Purdue. Harburg fumbles twice, loses it twice. Sims fumbles once, loses it for a
touchdown.
Almost what would have been in years past. Game-changing touchdown. Snodgrass loses the opening kickoff. And Bullock looked like he lost that punt. Like, God bless Quentin Newsom. Like, that's hustle. That's a senior stepping up and making a play. Not the biggest play, but it turned into the play. It became the play that sparked the 15-play, 87-yard drive. I don't know if this was the best game of Quentin Newsom's career. Definitely the most impactful, though, with the fumble recovery, with the kick return for the touchdown. But, Strick, I just keep waiting for these fumbles to clip Nebraska in a close game.
Yeah, because don't get content.
Right.
With the fact that you just won game. No, that's these small things you want to tidy up. You don't want, like, it's kind of like you're cooking good food. Right? My mom, I happen to be in Dallas, and my mom cooked a wonderful spread of meal.
God bless moms.
And it's like this. It's like you leave the door cracked and freaking fly sneaks in. And the fly is just sitting on, and if you haven't seen the movie, you understand. Yeah, they're doing that, Austin. If you're on the stream, you know what Austin's doing. He's rubbing his fingers together, and it's like, I'm about to go to town on this grub. And you know what flies do? They spit up on your food, and they can call all kinds of nasty stuff. That's what these little issues could be. It's like leaving the door cracked with you are cooking up a good meal. 5-3, on the verge of eligibility. The schedule is in your favor, and you've been here before, Austin, because they were here last year. They had an opportunity sitting right in front of them to do something big in the Big Ten West, and they fumbled the bag. I'm hoping that this year's different because they're sitting right there with an opportunity to do something big in the Big Ten West once again.
And that's all I want us to say about November on this show for the rest of the month. Not Nebraska has a chance to win the Big Ten West. Not, hey, Nebraska's right in it. Not Nebraska's ahead of schedule. Nebraska's got an opportunity. Everything given, or everything earned, nothing given. Right? Nebraska's got to go get it. Nebraska's got to go take advantage of it week in, week out. Matt Rule, we might have to pull some clips from it because I thought he was really good about managing expectations. Right? He's not trying to keep them low. He's trying to keep them present. And that to me is a big thing. On the text line, a couple things here. Big Bird, think about the conversations we were having when we were 0-2 to today being 5-3. The fruits of development labor is really starting to show. Yes, from top to bottom. Cubsker says, I thought after week 2 we were going to win 3, maybe 4. At some points, with the fumbles and with the lack of explosive offense, it still looks like a team that could only win 3 or 4 games. But you only have 3 or 4 left.
I
don't know, man.
You have a lot that you can learn from, but here's the other part of it. It's been a long time since they've won 3 games in a row. With opportunities like that in the past, they fumbled the bag. They've got a chance to exceed that expectation even by a couple of games, because you have a chance to. Is that us?
That's TV, actually.
Oh,
we're tomorrow. It's only Monday.
Oh, okay, you have a chance to go to Michigan State, a down team. And we talk about this all the time in basketball. We talk about this in football. You've got a chance to go on the road and do some damage. Grow on the road, step on people's,
chest.
Yeah,
throat.
step on their chest, whatever, and beat them down when they're down. You don't freaking go in there and just go easy, lackadaisical, just, we're here, you're not them. You've got to go and beat the brakes off of people, and this is an opportunity to do that, to do something great, because it's been a long, long time since you went 4 straight. So keep exceeding those opportunities.
It's not unsportsmanlike to jump on a bad team when they're down. It's unsportsmanlike to cheat yourself by not going 100%, by not managing your expectations. Final thing, Swift from Lincoln says, pretty sure Cluster was saying they still have 7 to 8 wins after starting 1-2. So that's why I thought they might. And hey, your boy, he's on it. He's in position.
He called it. He's sitting there right where he said it. He said it. Now, there's some people that think 8-4. Here's my thing. I don't think it's out of the question. Because you look at the schedule, you could say Wisconsin on the road. You could say Maryland, but you've got them at home. Don't take care of home. Don't let them come in here and do anything. Come here and give them the same effort, same defense. Take care of the ball. Get some special teams. Maybe get a couple turnovers. Win the game. Just win the game.
How many more weeks can you go 1-0?
Right.
So you got 4 chances left.
Yeah.
See how many of them you can get in the win column. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Let's talk a little Husker hoops. I watched a little bit of the scrimmage yesterday with Doan, the exhibition. We'll get into a little bit of a very shorthanded Husker hoops team to wrap up hour 1 of On the Block in just a minute.
Hey, Santa, we're getting a lot of requests for Nebraska Lottery Holiday Classic scratch tickets this year.
Makes sense. Until January 3rd, 2024, players can enter non-winning tickets online for a chance to win 1, 5, 10, or 20,000 bucks.
Yeah, but I built like 1 million wooden trains.
Why do you keep making those?
They're a classic holiday gift.
Oh, trust me, Jingles, there's nothing more classic than cash.
Top prize odds vary by game. Did you know that when you play games from the Nebraska Lottery, you're also supporting and even... That's right. Since 1993, the Nebraska Lottery has raised more than $900 million for Nebraska's environment, educational opportunities, and state fair. So to everyone who plays, we say, the Nebraska Lottery, 30 years of building a better Nebraska.
Discover the difference that expertise and experience can make in your real estate journey with Next Ag Appraisal and Realty. Whether you need an appraisal, sales, or farm management, Next Ag comes up with a solution with your legacy and goals in mind. Next Ag isn't just their name, it's your future. So why wait? Visit their website today at www.nextagrealestate.com or give them a call at 402-380-0432 and turn your dreams into reality. Your land, your legacy, their solutions. Next Ag Appraisal and Realty.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
Are you working in or looking to get into the electrical construction industry? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com. Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween weekend. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career, or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Are you looking for a night of epic fun without breaking the bank? Look no further than Sun Valley Lanes and Games. Join us for our late night special every Sunday through Thursday night and enjoy nonstop action with our Unlimited Fun promotion. Unlimited Fun includes everything you need for an unforgettable night out. Unlimited bowling, unlimited laser tag, and unlimited lucky putt mini golf. Show a valid college or military ID at check-in and get $2 off your admission. Visit the daily rates page at sunvalleylanes.com for complete details.
Sun Valley.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Sandhills Global is hiring. Check out sandhills.jobs for more information. Sandhills is looking to fill hundreds of new openings in sales, traveling support, software development, web design, and more. Sandhills has a professional culture and is fast-paced with a focus on growth, innovation, and leading-edge technologies. Career and internship opportunities are available at our global headquarters in Lincoln, Nebraska. Apply today at sandhills.jobs.
This is Bud Seinhorst, President and CEO of LIBA, the Lincoln Independent Business Association. Join us every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Expect sunny skies, a west wind at around 10 to 15. That will boost our temps just a little bit, but it will still remain rather chilly, a high of around 45. Tonight, a cold front moving through could lead to northwest winds gusting over 30, a low down to 22. That cold front gives us a very chilly Halloween. Highs tomorrow at 37. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour one of On the Block here with some Husker Hoops talk. Exhibition season is over. The ladies win their exhibition, as do the men. Let's get into the men here real quick, Strick. They play Doane. They take down the Tigers 84-53. I just wrote down a handful of observations. Yep. I'll throw them your way, see what you think about what I saw. First thing was shooting was not improved. Something to worry about, something not worry about. Was it because the lineups were different? What do you make of the shooting?
Well, I think that will come. I mean, okay. I think there were times where you show flashes of it, right? But I'm not overly worried about that because it's still early. I'm not going to say jitters, but there's kind of a form of you've gotten over the practice hump. It's live. It's real. I think the looks that they're getting are good. And so I think they will get better. Obviously, the second half was way better than the first half. And that's what you want to see. You want to see that type of progression. Now, was that, I answered your question. Go ahead.
Yes.
What else?
Rebounding. You win the boards 41-31. I get it. There's a lot of guards out there. No true post played. I don't know. I still expected more out of the rebounding.
Well, and see, that's the thing, right? It's I like that continuation of what happened over the summer. It's going to continue, especially now early in the season. Yes, in the summers, it's kind of like they're used to that stuff. A lot of those guys have played AAU ball. They're kind of, acclimated to kind of just having fun and enjoying themselves in the summer. And they played very well out there in Spain. But this is now live. It's a great opportunity for them to get that kind of now real game experience, opportunity to figure out that what we did there, we got to continue on here. It's putting bodies on people. Yes, you won, and you should have won. That's just kind of the way it is. I mean, big-time basketball against, what Doane's Division II?
NAIA.
Yeah, so that's what you have, and that's okay. But there's some good things that you can kind of gain from it is the fact that you won the battle in a battle that you should have won. Maybe it wasn't a dominating performance, but guess what? Probably if you have your big boys in there, you're looking at more of a dominating performance. But the fact that you won, now if you would have lost, I would have been more concerned in actually winning that battle.
I loved the passing. I thought the ball didn't stick hardly at all on offense.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought transition was really smooth for the most part too.
Yeah, and look, they've got guys that can get it done on that. I really like Eli Rice, and I like the fact that he's playing at this kind of level early because they're say what you will, they're still a young team. For the most part, there's not outside of Tamanaga and Big Blaze, or did Blaze get some form of a
Blaze is still out.
I mean, did he get like an extra year?
He came from JUCO,
right? So I thought he would have been. Was he a? Gosh, I hate that I didn't. I can't remember if he came in as a sophomore with like Tamanaga.
I think he did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he did.
So then, so you've got only a couple of guys that for the most part, a lot of these guys are coming back, and I love that they're going to be able to build this type of chemistry together and grow together. So for me, some people say, what is success for this team, right? I think an NIT berth is great success for this team. And I think and then moving up, this team wants to put themselves, Austin, in a position to be out of what I always talked to you about last year is what that 10th position. That's growth to me. You want to get out of that. You want to start moving up because it's not going to get any easier. You've got Washington coming. Washington is not bad out west. Oregon's coming. We're going to see Dana Altman.
Dana's back.
Dana's going to be back. That's going to be cool. But UCLA and also USC. Now, USC had one of the better recruiting classes in the year, so they're going to be. You've got to want to move up.
Now.
You know what? Now in this recruiting battles that's going to be ensuing after this year is going to be tough. So you definitely don't want to be towards the bottom tier of it this year. You want to be able to have a story to sell and tell about why you want them to come in here to Link.
Let's wrap up the segment with Eli Rice. What do you like about that kid's game?
Just smooth, very mature in his game. He's trying
lefty.
to for sure. You know that.
Yeah.
He's not trying to overdo anything for the most part right now. And I think he's listening. I think he wants to get better, and I think he wants to grow. And it's good to see him have this kind of success. They need this kind of confidence out of the young man. As far as with the lineups that they're going to be able to throw at people is going to be very unique and different. And I like that about this team.
We'll keep watching. First game is a week from today.
I'll be doing that game.
Oh, yeah.
Big 10 Plus.
Let's go.
Got about, I think I got 4 games with them. It should have been 6, but I didn't do the game this game because I had the birthday to go to. And then the next one that would have been is like my birthday weekend. So
you're not doing that. You're not working on your birthday.
No.
Absolutely not.
50, man. Can you believe it?
Heck yeah. I believe it. Not looking like it, but I believe it.
I can't believe it, bro. It's crazy, but we're going to have fun this year.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block here in 93.7 The Ticket. We'll step aside, get back to college football here in hour number 2. A lot of interesting games across the country this week. We'll take a spin around the country, get the interesting games before a recruiting update with Brian Munson of Husker Online. A lot going on in Husker football recruiting. Don't go anywhere. More On the Block comes your way just a sec.
Fall is officially here, which means it's the perfect time to get outdoors and stay moving. If you're someone who enjoys going on walks in fall weather, but you notice heel pain in your foot when you wake up, it could be a sign of plantar fasciitis. A visit to Fleet Feet Lincoln can help you find the shoes and inserts you need to avoid that pain. Their Fit ID machine takes a 3D image of your feet and picks the shoes that work best for you. Visit Fleet Feet Lincoln, located off of 70th and Pioneers Boulevard, so you can stay moving.
This is Rick Heyman, president of Sartor Heyman Jewelers. My father, Don, always insisted that Sartor Heyman never compromise. Not on quality, not on value, and not on customer service. For that reason, you can be sure that every item of jewelry you purchase from Sartor Heyman is the very best, no matter how small or how large. When it comes to jewelry, if we don't have it, you don't want it. Sartor Heyman Jewelers, Lincoln and Grand Island, and sartorheyman.com.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Blecker and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Blecker and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air,
and Electrical.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween weekend. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect sunny skies, a west wind at around 10 to 15. That will boost our temps just a little bit, but it will still remain rather chilly, a high of around 45. Tonight, a cold front moving through could lead to northwest winds gusting over 30, a low down to 22. That cold front gives us a very chilly Halloween. Highs tomorrow at 37. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Old School with DP and J.
So you got a bunch of young guys that have nothing to lose. So just go out there like nothing to lose. Nobody's expecting you to be like the greatest in the Big Ten. But then the only way that you're going to really jumpstart your development is really going out there and playing balls to the wall. Because if you go through and kind of like tiptoe and just moving around, well, when it comes down to when you really got to do it, you're going to let yourself down.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three. You're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
The Cooper Flight and College Football Hour. I can't do that. I can't.
I should have known. Were they able to finally land him?
Today, this morning.
I should have known you were going to be excited. And listen, I was going to say that I think that was probably one of the best fitting places for his style and his game.
Mm-hmm.
And I I look around the landscape of college basketball, and I couldn't see him. I could see him at Creighton. I could see him at Gonzaga. Duke is the other one. Maybe North Carolina. I like the style for him. I couldn't see him at Kentucky.
No.
But his style could play at Kentucky.
Could.
Like, his game is like that. Like, a lot of people, if you have never seen Cooper Flagg yet, be on the lookout. That young man can go.
He's coming.
He's coming. He can go. So if Duke landed him, Duke is garbage.
I will say pull up the stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. It's all Husker red. I didn't wear Duke blue today.
You didn't.
I'm doing the Husker thing.
Yeah.
On purpose to keep myself on track. We're talking Huskers and Purdue. We're talking some college football. If you have any thoughts, let us know. 402-464-5685. Saturday's game is a road game. It's 11 o'clock at Michigan State. So know what you do? At halftime, you place your order from Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. You go pick it up. You bring it back home.
Yes, and it'll be nice and hot. And you won't mind after the game falling asleep with your feet up and the pillow tucked in with a blanket after it's cold as it is outside these days as well. So it'll be a perfect thing to get for a nice Sunday day of cold, brisk football.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you, Mary Ellen's, for sponsoring On the Block. To a college football recap. Interesting games. We'll start in the top 25, move our way around, including some breaking news out of Iowa City we'll get to here in just a minute. Georgia has no issues with Florida. Ohio State beats Wisconsin 24-10. Kyle McCord looked bad. I don't know if I credit Wisconsin or it's just an off day for him. Strick, Ohio State hasn't been the Ohio State we're used to with the high-flying offense. That defense has arrived. The running game is there. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a game breaker. Ohio State has to be taken seriously as a national title contender.
They have a 1-2-3 combination. And that's a good combination to have in sports and in football. That's what Alabama's had for a lot of years.
Right.
Super running game. You have some good stars on the outside, usually a couple of them, with a solid quarterback, and it's a winning recipe. And they've got a winning recipe and a solid defense. I think the defense has betrayed them in the past. I think that's where they've definitely stepped it up and they've gotten better.
Well, the biggest test is going to come the Saturday after Thanksgiving when they play Michigan. And that's the only test that matters for that defense at this point.
I'm disappointed, though. I'm going to be honest as we move along. I'm really disappointed in Penn State, and I know you're about to talk about them at some point.
Indiana gave Penn State all they could handle and more. Yeah. Brendan Sorsby throwing for 3 touchdowns. Didn't throw it a whole lot. I think 13 of 19. But they hit the big play against the Penn State defense that hadn't given up a lot of them. And I want to tie these two teams together here, Strick. Penn State, who you and I both thought was legit, was going to take down Ohio State. They lose to it, and then they don't respond all that well with a tough one against Indiana. And Washington hasn't looked good for the last 2 weeks after the huge win at Oregon. They don't score an offensive touchdown against Arizona State, and then they're in it till the end against Stanford. Is that a credit to Indiana and Stanford, or are you a little worried about the top end abilities of Washington and Penn State?
I am worried about the top end abilities of both of those teams. Big win. You did what you're supposed to do at home. You handled Oregon. Tough win. But that's that thing we talk about teams at the top. If you're a dominant team, you dominate bad teams. You don't play down to their level. You don't go through roller coaster rides of emotion. You beat the brakes off of people. And this is why I'm scared of them popping in. And I'm worried if they can even win the Pac-12.
Oregon looked so much better than Washington did. I get it. Washington has the head-to-head win, but Oregon dominated Utah.
That's a fact.
And again, the same Utah team that's had the same issues it's had all year with injuries, Oregon took them to the woodshed on the road.
That's what you're supposed to do. And that's the expectation that you have. And listen, kudos to them. Shout out to them. And listen, they have a chance to kind of start knocking at the door. I don't know if they can fully get back. I think there's some teams that may submit themselves. Obviously, Ohio State or Michigan's going to knock one of themselves out. I'm not sold on SEC right now. I'm looking at maybe one SEC team potentially getting in. I'm not sold on them.
Do you think Bama can beat Georgia? That's where we're heading again. Is what it looks like. Do you think Bama can do it?
I actually think they can. I am. To me, Georgia is a coin flip away from potentially getting clipped off. Now, I don't think they have to. If I remember on the schedule, I don't think they face each other this year on a head-to-head.
They do not.
It will happen if it happens at the championship game. So I think it's possible, and that's where you probably would say that Georgia, depending on how they lose the game, is going to stay in the mix. They may drop from, at worst case, 1-4, right?
Mhm.
But this is how it's possible that a one-loss SEC team creeps in. I think it's only by a loss
Mhm.
to Georgia by an Alabama type.
The playoff rankings, I believe, the first ones will come out tomorrow. So we'll have that to look forward to. We'll definitely talk about it throughout the rest of the week once they come out. Michigan, barring a loss to Ohio State, looks in. To me, the safest team in the playoff is Florida State. They've had their own close calls. I just don't think the rest of the ACC is going to challenge them.
I don't think so.
I don't think Florida State gets to number 1 overall, but I think Florida State's there. I think it's one of the two, Michigan or Ohio State. Maybe
I think they
it's
get
both
to
of
3.
them.
I think they get to 3.
Ooh, okay.
I think they creep up to 3. I think if they win out and they win like they're winning,
Mhm.
they could get to 3. Within Ohio State,
Michigan flip-flop.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, Strick, I think the most likely playoff is Florida State, and pick 3 of the 4 Big Ten or SEC. I don't think the Big 12 is getting a team. Not after Oklahoma lost to Kansas, not like that. Oklahoma should have slammed the door on Kansas. Credit the Jayhawks for holding Dylan Gabriel to fewer than 175 yards passing, no touchdowns.
Mhm.
But Oklahoma was able to run the ball for 5 yards a carry. Oklahoma had that game salted away a couple times, but they couldn't take advantage of Jason Bean and
Big plays.
He made the plays when
with
it
his
counted.
feet and with his hands.
Kansas beats Oklahoma in 97, the first year of the Big 12. They beat Oklahoma on their way out to the SEC. But Oklahoma, to me, is out of the race. Texas is out of the race by virtue of losing to Oklahoma. In the Pac-12, I mean, maybe Washington keeps up its tight wire act, but you and I are both kind of saying we don't think they're going to do it. So we honestly, Strick, might have the one ACC team in Florida State, and then pick 3 of the 4 between Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, and Bama again.
That could happen. That could happen. This is why I was so disappointed in Penn State. I thought it was their year to
Mhm.
break through, especially avoiding the gauntlet. You only had one of them to face outside of potentially maybe. Well, you only had the one of them to face. You clipped them. You skipped the other one.
Yep.
And they're going to possibly knock each other off. And you're sitting pretty to potentially just walk right into the Big Ten championship game. I mean, sad for them. So sad for them. Another year wasted is the way I'll look at the Penn State Nittany Lions. Another year wasted on their opportunity.
Unfortunately so for James Franklin and his crew as we keep doing.
Do you put pressure on him now?
On Franklin?
Yeah.
I do. Absolutely.
Okay. Just
It's
asking.
like, what kind of pressure, I don't know, but you're not going to fire the guy. I mean,
No.
You've seen what happens, but do you? I mean, look at Brian Kelly felt that he had to leave Notre Dame for doing what James Franklin's doing at Penn State.
Are you feeling bad for North Carolina and Duke right now? Because I mean, this is that thing we go back to again about good and bad football teams. But I don't want to get into it. But I'm just
I give you thoughts.
I'm just like North Carolina. You've got one of the better quarterbacks that are going to be in there.
But the defense
draft.
again,
And the
North
defense
Carolina
lets you
and
down.
USC are very similar.
Very
May
similar.
hasn't had the stinker like Williams did against Notre Dame, but Georgia Tech scores 24 points in the second quarter, 22 in the second quarter. They don't score in the first or third quarters, and they still win.
Yeah.
Carolina, it seems like that happens to that program every year. Duke, Riley Leonard's still banged up, but it just goes to
Still
show they
impressed
don't
with
have the top tier
Still
talent.
impressed.
It's a good coaching
Still
job.
impressed. Yeah.
Mhm.
Still, you no matter where they fall, you've got to be impressed with the season they've had, especially early on.
Hey, look at Louisville too, pitching a shutout against Duke.
Louisville sneaky solid.
Do we get Cards Seminoles in the ACC championship game?
Very possible.
Might be heading that way.
But I'm impressed. I want to shout out to the freaking Air Force the Minutemen.
The Falcons.
God darn it. The Falcons. Yeah. I want to shout out to them because 8-0, 5-0 start that's pretty good for them out there. Because aren't they in Fort Collins? Colorado Springs.
Colorado Springs, yes.
Yeah. Shout out
Because
to
Fort
them.
Collins is Colorado State, who they play.
Yeah, my dad being an officer in the Air Force, man, I just love seeing that. That's big for me to see those type of teams get that kind of recognition from time to time.
It's usually
and it's cycles of it.
It
right?
does. I mean, it's been Army's turn for a while. Navy had a decent run, but hey, it's Air Force now.
It's their turn.
Is it Lairder? I think it's Zach Lairder is the quarterback's name, who had a knee issue, but he played against Wyoming and they won that game. Air Force is rolling. The group of 5 spot in the New Year's 6 Bowl Strick right now is between this year's darling Air Force and last year's darling Tulane.
Wow. Tulane, they're still rolling along. Took a tough loss early, but they're still rolling.
They snuck by Rice.
Snuck by Rice.
Snuck by him. Luke McCaffrey had 5 catches for 79 yards and a touchdown in that one. Speaking of sneaking by, USC.
God.
Cal could have tied that game. They went for 2 and the likely win. They don't get it. 50-49. USC beats Cal. They're 7-2, but Strick, I am not taking USC seriously ever again.
At all. The F word for me, and I'm not saying that F word. Fraudulent is the word for me. But your boy better leave.
Yep.
Stop playing games.
Get out of
Caleb Williams. Get out of Dodge. Go bye-bye, because it can't get better for you. It's only going to get worse. That's the way I look at it. I just don't see them coming out of it.
I'm with you. Okay, let's stick in the Pac-12, but also tie in some ACC as well. The last 2 conferences we really talked about. You mentioned in the break Deion Sanders coming under fire for criticizing his offensive line. I don't know if I agree with that criticism. I mean, that line has been bad all year, and I'll let you give your thoughts in just a sec here. But Pat Narduzzi got taken to task. The Pitt head coach, maybe in the running for Michigan State's job. We'll see as those talks develop. Pat Narduzzi, after they get absolutely blasted by Notre Dame, said, as a football coach, you lose a lot of good players from a year ago, and you think as a coach you're going to replace them, and obviously we haven't. Talk about calling your players out. That seems like a little bit of bus meat player.
Yeah. This soft generation of not being able to accept criticism is something. Now, I think there's a difference potentially if you look at it at the way that it can be said. So you can get across the same message sometimes. But as I looked at the interviews of both of them, you can see Narduzzi, it was good wordplay of still being able to get the point across of giving accountability to the areas of deficiency. And then you look at Deion's, and it was just more straight to the point. It just depends on which way that you believe you can, you're okay with the way that it's being given to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a problem with going straight to the freaking problem, the issue, the point. It's like if you want to cut out cancer, right? You don't go to an area where you want to go to the source. You don't want to go to some area where, I think it's going over here. Yeah, it may flow here. Let's go get it over. Well, it's not there. We're going to go to the source of the issue, right?
Don't treat the symptom, treat the cause.
Go right to it. And I think I can appreciate that as a person. And when I looked at the interview, I didn't see anything that was like bashing. It was like dealing with the issue and the problem. Let's go. And listen, I'm going to get, you can take inference. You can infer that he's saying, I'm going to get somebody. So be on the lookout. Your job is on the line. He didn't say that, but you can sense that he said that.
You can
don't have a problem with it.
If you can't tell that he said that, you're part of the problem. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick look at the Big Ten here before we get to Brian Munson of Husker Online. Minnesota beats Michigan State 27-12. Jordan Newman, like the 4th or 5th string running back for Minnesota, goes for 204 yards on 40 carries. So Minnesota 5-3, 3-2 in the Big Ten West. Northwestern beats Maryland.
See, this is why I'm saying Nebraska, you've got opportunity. They got to come to your spot. If you want to lay down and let Maryland come into your spot and take it, I'm disappointed in you. Give them everything you got. Come with the same defense. Bring the pain and go get a win. Take care of getting on this road. Michigan State don't want it. They want to lay down and go to sleep. Put them to sleep.
Let them. Rock that baby.
Rock the baby to sleep.
Put him in the cradle.
Come back home. Get ready. They coming. Terrapins coming. Step on the turtle. the turtle. Like there's
flip them over backwards, crack the shell, whatever it means.
There was I seen on YouTube a long time ago that they're talking about a turtle that escaped the jaws of an alligator. Be the alligator that chomps the turtle. Don't let that thing slip out the mouth. Put the bite on him and crack the turtle and beat the brakes off of him. Now, don't give them any room to think that they can come in here, because if you take care of the ball, you play solid defense, they'll give it to you. Go get it.
They will.
Yeah.
The final note on the Big Ten, we can spend some more time with this in a little bit maybe, comes out of Iowa City. Hawkeyes don't play.
Right.
We have a statement from Beth Getz, the interim athletic director. Here's the statement. Anyone who loves Iowa football recognizes both the success and challenges that have brought attention to our program this season. Our struggles on offense, coupled with the offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz's contract, make this a unique situation. After conversations with head coach Kirk Ferentz, coach Brian Ferentz, and President Wilson, I informed Brian that our intention is for him to be with us through the bowl game, but this is his last season with the program. Making this known today
Pause. That's huge, because in his contract, the statement is there's a potential of retainment. What you just said, say that again, that last statement.
I informed Brian that our intention is for him to be with us through the bowl game, but this is his last season with the program.
There. Go ahead.
Making this known today is in the best interest of the program and its loyal fans. It provides clarity during this pivotal time in the schedule. To make this announcement over a bye week?
Woo. Hey, but listen, I can appreciate it.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. You're trying to make sure, there's a couple things you're trying to make sure, right, Austin? And come back at me if I'm wrong. You're trying to make sure that those young receivers don't jump ship.
Sure.
Because I can bet you that there are some unhappy young men in that offensive room that is looking for the exit quickly after the season. So you're basically putting it on notice. Maybe there's some uncertainty as to who's coming in. Maybe then Coach Ferentz, head coach, or somebody in your room is having conversations about where we would like to go, what we're trying to do. We would love for you to stay. It's going to get better. You can have better conversations with him gone as opposed to him being there, and you're like, hey, man, it's going to be the same rigmarole, right?
What do you expect from Iowa then with 4 games? Do you expect Brian Ferentz to keep doing what he's always done? Do you expect him to pull out all the stops as one last hurrah?
If I'm Coach Ferentz, I have a real good discussion. I'm putting an associate next to him, offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Somebody to work with him, right? Maybe somebody I like, their mind as far as the way that they, putting work or put things together, because I'm looking to have a kind of moment like what happened here at Nebraska. I think like, for example, on the defensive side, let's just go to the defense. Let's stand it. The defensive side, when Bill Busch took over after a dismal defense, he helped to revamp it, to make it better, to put them in position to win games. Didn't have much time to make things changes, but he gave them distinct accountability and going out and handling things and being downhill and run to the ball. Don't overthink. You can appreciate that, and it got better. I would do that in a similar manner on the offensive side. Start putting some things in, giving them some opportunities to run some different things with the running game and with the pass game, and hopefully it can make them look better by the end of the season.
The over-under doesn't look better. It's Iowa Northwestern this weekend, over-under of 29.5.
A lot of these games are ugly. Like, I was talking to my friend yesterday, and he's like, man, I don't want to watch no Big Ten 17, 14 games and 10. He was excited when one of the games got up in the 20s. I want to say is the Penn State game. I think he was excited. He even saw that. But yeah, no one wants to watch just ugly football.
No.
And I'm not even going to say it's ugly. I think it's ugly just because I just don't think the offense is as sexy. I am not even going to say that the defenses are dominant. I think Iowa's defense is good, but I'm not going to even say that they're dominant.
Not to the level they have been in the past. No. I'm with you. Okay, let's take a break. Let's talk to Brian Munson. A lot going on in Husker football recruiting. We'll get an update from Brian, who's with Husker Online, part of the On3 Network, next.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 10th and P or at 1501 Center Park Road.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese in 84th and Havelock. This week's specials through October 30th are buy a pack of steakhouse burgers and get a pack of hot dogs for free. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
It's football season in Nebraska, and that means coaches are busy making game plans. I'm Eric Hagan with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no 2 opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we understand no 2 cases are the same. Whether facing a DUI, criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. Liberty Law's relentless trial attorneys serve all of Nebraska. To learn more, visit libertylawnebraska.com. That's libertylawnebraska.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air,
and Electrical.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Expect sunny skies, a west wind at around 10 to 15. That will boost our temps just a little bit, but it will still remain rather chilly, a high of around 45. Tonight, a cold front moving through could lead to northwest winds gusting over 30, a low down to 22. That cold front gives us a very chilly Halloween. Highs tomorrow at 37. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
back on the block. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. We go to our VIP line brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. And we welcome in our recruiting man, Brian Munson of Husker Online. Brian, feels like it's been a minute. How are you, good sir?
It has been a minute. I am doing well. How about you?
You know,
we're good.
We're fine. We're hanging in there.
He's hanging in there. He's the one that had to deal with some a little slight adversity on last week, but
just a little appendix. People get them taken out every day, right?
Oh no, you had an appendicitis?
I did. That was knocked me out on Thursday. So my first day back.
Oh my goodness. So yeah, those are not something that you want to play around, play with. So that's I'm glad that you got that taken care of. The preparated ones are not good.
I was lucky. It was just inflamed. Doctor said it was good when I got in. When I did, it didn't burst. So I feel lucky. I'm glad to be here and chatting. And we mentioned it been a minute. Let's start with a couple decommitments from last week, Brian. Callan Barta and Kawan Lacey. Let's start with the Barta one because I have a follow-up on Lacey. He goes to Kansas State from Nebraska. What do you make of him flipping from the Huskers to Wildcats?
Oh, I exchanged some messages with him leading up to basically his official visit last weekend, and it seemed pretty clear that he holds the Wildcats in pretty high regard. Just the in-state school, spent a lot of time there, got a lot of friends that go there. Clearly, he still had a soft spot for Nebraska, but, I mean, it was going to take a bunch. I mean, and a minor miracle, basically, for Callan to take that visit and walk away and go, yeah, I'm still pretty good, going to Lincoln. Because I just feel like that was his spot. If they would have come forward with an offer, earlier, it wouldn't even have been an issue. He wouldn't have even camped at Nebraska. He would have been done. So Kansas State gets him. I felt like Callan Barta had probably one of the better years statistically of all the commitments in the class. It led me to believe a little bit that maybe possibly Nebraska could have looked at him to play wide receiver. But other than that, man, I mean, it's a loss for Nebraska. It's one of those kids that came in and shined, during that June time frame, and was an offer after Nebraska camp.
Then with Kawan Lacey from down in Texas, is this he's absolutely gone, or is there a chance Nebraska can pull a Cam Lenhart on the Kawan Lacey situation?
It's the way that he handled it that leads me to believe that there's no coming back. I mean, look, Coach Rule has, been on the record just recently of having to address, where are you at when it comes to commitments that want to take trips? And he said, look, I'm all for it. You should know that you want to come here. If you tell me that you want to go take a trip because you want to go figure it out, fine, go take that trip, figure it out, and then come on back and tell me what you're thinking. Kawan Lacey didn't even hesitate. He's picked up an offer recently from Florida. He had a number of head coaches come through recently to Lancaster High School to check him out. He gets an offer from Alabama. He sets up an official visit to Alabama, and just like that, just severing ties. So I would say it's the chances are slight that Nebraska can find their way back into it, and that sucks because I had just gone out to see him on Friday. He had told me that there had been no decision. He was still solid to Nebraska. He was no decision for him to take any visits at that point. And then all of a sudden, wham, I'm taking an official visit. No, yeah, by the way, I'm decommitting too. So recruiting moves, just like Ferris Bueller said, life comes at you pretty fast. Well, so does recruiting.
Is there anything Nebraska did or didn't do to cause either of these, or is it just this is like completely on the players and their decisions, their futures in their hands, sort of thing?
Look, the one part that bothers me, and I haven't said this to anybody, so you guys are hearing it here first. I mean, I have the recording on my phone and I listened to it again. The one part that bothered me was that he said a lot of head coaches have come through. Nebraska did not send a head coach down to see him. It was Coach McGuire and Coach Barthel. Did that make a difference, overall? I don't think so, but there definitely was something, that captivated him that really, he caught at least when the head coaches were coming there to see him and check him out. I think Alabama, they've got Saban. They'll have Saban until he decides to walk away. That's a tough one to compete with, and I think he's had a great season. Kwan Lacey has so far. I think Nebraska had done all the right things, maybe besides not sending a head coach down there to see him recently. But Nebraska's had some things up here they had to shore up too. They had to shore up the backyard, and they had to try to get that kid across the river, Grant Bricks, to consider the Huskers and try to get him in the class too.
Okay, let's flip our focus then to the offensive line. Seems like there's some stuff churning in the Bricks situation. You recently wrote about another offensive tackle target, Xander Rugaroli. Is that, I believe, how you say it? Where does Nebraska look on the offensive line in these upcoming classes?
Well, I mean, you've got 4 guys in the class already, but you've got some question marks. Jake Peters, interior guy. Gibson Pyle, probably an interior guy. Swinging out to tackle, maybe possibly Landon Davidson, obviously a guard. And then you get Preston Talmau, that I think Nebraska wants to find a way for him to be part of the equation as quickly as possible, whether that was interior or offensive tackle, wherever they could kind of find a place for him to kind of come in and contribute immediately. That's where he's going to go. The problem with Talmau is this: he didn't play it all this season. I mean, he tore his ACL in the spring, which was awful injury. And, obviously transferred high schools through it all and sat out basically his entire senior year. Even if he gets up to Nebraska in January and he's cleared to go for maybe spring practices, where do you think, things are at physically? Where do you think things are at mentally? I mean, those types of injuries take some time to come back with. And I don't get the impression from him that he's a guy that that's been slowed down all that much, just besides the regular, surgery and going through therapy kind of thing. There's not something lingering with him from the times that I have spoken with him since he's had surgery. But I just, having some experience with that myself, I just know how those things can kind of hang over there, and they're the mental side of the injury is tough, and you can kind of get that in your head a little bit to where you're doubting yourself and you don't want to push that knee so much, and you have to develop some confidence in it. You're developing confidence in it after not having played the game of football for a year, and you're jumping to Big Ten football at Nebraska, and obviously Matt Rule, pushes his team hard. They practice hard, so it's going to be some baptism by fire for him when he gets up to Lincoln.
Then a couple other offensive linemen, Alufai Tuli and Utu, you wrote about as well. What do you make of those 2 young men?
Yeah, and let me go back and touch on Rugaroli, because that's who you asked about. So I think Xander is a kind of a fallback plan for Bricks. I think Nebraska is keeping somebody warm. I don't think Nebraska feels necessarily all that great about where they're at with Andrew Thomas, who's a decommitment from Michigan State. They've had Rugaroli, kind of warmed up now for a while. So he's a raw dude, but 6'7", 260-ish, former basketball player. So I know Eric kind of appreciates that. So those dudes, like the Adam Trues of the world, they've got great footwork. They've got really strong legs. They got quick feet. They got great hand-eye coordination. So there's a lot to work with there. But his teammates, you mentioned SJ and Douglas Utu. I'm not looking at SJ's last name, and I won't even attempt that on the air right now. They're 2 of the top players at their position on the offensive line in the 2025 class. So they are juniors this year. But great sign that Nebraska is able to bring both of those guys in for a visit this weekend. You had 5 guys in total there from Bishop Gorman, one of the premier high school programs in the country. And you bring in 3 offensive linemen, 2 of which are, I think Utu is the number 7 tackle, number 1 player in the state of Nevada. And I think SJ is like the number 5 or number 6 inside interior offensive lineman. I think he's the number 2 player in the state of Nevada for next year. So Nebraska was so, so involved with the modern day players. It looks like Bishop Gorman is the soup du jour for 2025.
We're talking with Brian Munson of Husker Online here. We talk to him every Monday here at 3:30 during On the Block for Husker football recruiting update. One thing I want to circle back on with Ruggeroli real quick, Brian, is this very similar to what we were talking about with the Dylan Raiola, Daniel Kalen sort of thing, where you have a guy you're going after? Does the second guy know where he stands? How does this situation on the offensive line compare to that quarterback situation from last summer?
I think it compares somewhat. I don't think that, you don't have the name recognition obviously there that you had with Raiola, back to Bricks. I mean, you had Georgia and you had Ohio State and you had USC. You had some really, really great programs, in there for Raiola in Nebraska. Obviously, found themselves in at least a four-dog hunt to kind of get, what would be considered to be one of the top signal callers in the country. Ruggeroli is he's a bit of a project, and he's got some teams, that he's obviously listening to and getting some interest from, but it's a Fresno State, Washington State. He doesn't have, it's Arizona States or the Arizonas, kind of that second tier Pac-12, kind of university. He's a bit more down the list. Well, Kalen was committed to an SEC school and had offers from North Carolina and other schools, around, including Nebraska. Nebraska had to go see about, another dude. And until the other guy went to another school, Nebraska just kind of played it out the way that they had told Daniel that if it goes down this way, then this is how we're going to play it. But I think with Ruggeroli, it's more like I think Nebraska keeps him warm until Grant Bricks probably makes a decision here in the next, I'd say 3 to 4 weeks, possibly. And then you should see Nebraska either decide that they are out on Xander, or if they miss on Bricks, they'll try to get him in for some sort of a late official visit.
Definitely something to monitor there. On the other side of the line, Brian, Jackson Lee, an edge rusher out of Frisco. What can you tell us about that commit and add to the Huskers class?
Great kid, very intelligent, had offers from Harvard and a bunch of other schools that I only know by name alone. They don't know who I am. So very, very intelligent guy, 6'3", 215-ish pounds. Tore it up during the summer camps. He was down in Nacogdoches at Stephen F. Austin at camp this summer. I think he ran a 4.47. So he has got some great straight line speed. Nebraska sees him, being opposite Prince Will. They see him as maybe a guy also that can do maybe a few more things. Maybe it's more like a Cameron Lenhart. Maybe he can kind of move between, hand in the dirt to stand up 2-point, but they got their pass rusher. I mean, I think that the whole thing with Jayshon Ross was just, I don't think he was really interested in coming to Nebraska. I think he was trying to find any way possible not to end up a Husker, and then the Alabama offer got there for him.
Lucky him.
Yeah, lucky him. And then you get a guy like Jackson Lee, however, that I think has got tremendous upside. He's played really good in a really good division of football down here, and I think it's 5A Division I. They are on a very good football team. They have a chance to win state this fall. And I just think that he's got tremendous athleticism and huge upside that I'm sure that when you get him to Nebraska, get a chance to develop a guy like that. He's a guy we'll be talking about, in 2 years or so, about the type of development and the steps forward and how he could be a huge contributor for the Nebraska defense.
Anything else you're monitoring that we didn't touch on here as Nebraska enters a huge month of November at 5-3, Brian?
I've got some new offers to kind of get through for 2025. There was one this weekend. Will Tompkins had picked up an offer, so I'm going to have a story up on him. If you guys haven't been out there to check out the recruiting spotlights that Steve Sipple and Sean Callahan did this weekend, go do them. They're on YouTube. They're fantastic. There is no other exclusive type of coverage than what you're getting from that. Malachi Goodman, was in town from New Jersey. I'm trying to still catch up with Larry Tarver. Now that's maybe one to watch. That's a Maryland commitment that took an official visit to Nebraska this weekend. He didn't get back home till after midnight my time last night, so I didn't get a chance to catch up with him. So hopefully I have a chance to catch up with him within the night and get something up here shortly.
There you go. Go to YouTube at Brian's recommendation. You catch Brian here at 3:30 on Mondays. If you need more of a fix, though, make sure you check out Husker Online. You find all of Brian's work there. Husker Online, part of the On3 network. Brian, as always, we appreciate your time. Be well. We'll hope to talk next week.
All right, guys. Be good.
He always says be good. We can't promise that.
No.
Does he even know who we are?
No, look, Brian is that's great stuff. That's great insight is to the depth of what the conversations that he's having with some of these recruits. And that's always good. And we got an exclusive right here on the block. So that's a beautiful thing as well.
We love it. We appreciate Brian for doing that. We also appreciate Aloe Fiber for sponsoring our VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman sitting next door. We'll bring him in. We'll cross it over, get you set up for old school after this.
Sunday morning. It's quiet, not in a weird, too quiet way. Calm, peaceful, tranquil. You pour yourself that cup of coffee. You slice yourself a hearty chunk of one of Beatrice Bakery's breakfast breads. Now, maybe you're an apple streusel guy. Nothing wrong with that. I can respect that. Personally, I'm a turtle nut man. Something about those pecans. But the real ones know, don't sleep on that date nut bread. Sweet, but not too sweet. Nutty, not overly. The perfect morning treat. Beatrice Bakery. Online at beatricebakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
Most parents have a homework schedule for the weekdays, but don't forget to cover the weekends. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. A good way to avoid a problem is to set a homework schedule for the weekend. Set aside a couple hours of homework time on Saturday and help your student avoid staying up late Sunday night to finish a project. Remember, communicating with your child's teacher is vital for student success.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween weekend. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care. If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Attention all Wings fans. 89-cent wings are back on Tuesdays at Buffalo Wings and Rings in Lincoln. Enjoy the best wings in town for boneless or traditional at a price that makes the whole family happy. And now at the Williamsburg Village Wings and Rings, you can enjoy $1.50 tall boys in Bud Light, Coors Light, Busch Light, and Michelob Ultra every day after 7 p.m. and all day on Sundays. Get to Wings and Rings today and make sure to stop by on Tuesdays for 89-cent wings.
This is Brad with Midwest Bank, proudly serving our Nebraska communities for over 70 years. We're a community bank, making local decisions, supporting local organizations, and helping local businesses and farms succeed. We are dedicated to serving our clients and helping them meet their financial needs with sound, innovative banking solutions. From an array of checking and deposit accounts, cash management services, to small business, real estate, and ag lending. We're here for you. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank. Find out more at midwestbank.com. Member FDIC.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Most parents have a homework schedule for the weekdays, but don't forget to cover the weekends. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. A good way to avoid a problem is to set a homework schedule for the weekend. Set aside a couple hours of homework time on Saturday and help your student avoid staying up late Sunday night to finish a project. Remember, communicating with your child's teacher is vital for student success.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today, with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
But he might have been.
He lost didn't lost his damn mind.
Yeah, man.
I'm wearing Huskers and not wearing Duke.
But
My mind's still here.
But you still got blue drawers on because I see.
I do not. Actually.
When I saw that,
you want me to prove it?
No. Yeah. I'll take your word for it. I seen that this morning. I said I know Austin and rolled over and just had a big old Kool-Aid smile on his face.
So funny enough, I had just put my son down. I just fed him a bottle, put him down in the rocker. He was good to go. I get on, I'm starting my show prep for the day. I open Twitter, and the first thing I see is Cooper Flag. Had no idea it was coming. Had no idea.
Nobody
I was
did.
waiting a week or two.
Everybody.
Yeah,
that's the first thing everybody said.
Today. I was hyped.
Yeah, I know you was hype. Hype Man Productions over there.
Boy,
Full on.
That's probably one of the best fits for him. I think
it is. He fit the script. He fit the script. It's good for him. It's close enough to home. He's gonna, no matter where he goes, he's gonna have the exposure that he needs to continue to go on to the next level if he continues to progress. Or
he won't be there long.
No,
he's got that kind of game.
Yeah, and he ain't no punk.
Yeah,
but I would chin check him though.
I would too,
because I don't know if he really got it in him though. I think he does, but I got to see it.
You need him to prove it to you.
Yeah, I got to see it. When I just elbow
He's
you
not
upside
from Racine,
your head.
Wisconsin. He is from Maine. So.
Nah, because hey, I'm gonna tell you what, them brothers from Racine, they got it.
Yo, why you think Nick Van Exel is how he is?
Yeah,
Nick from up there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
they used to say this was a Chicago reject, but then Racine is morphed into
Chicago rejects. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, they got ran up out of Chicago, ended up in Racine. They close enough to be home, but they too far from Chicago for people to come find them. Racine ain't no joke, man. I'm telling you, them brothers was dunking on us left and right. I ain't know it was 20-0, 3 minutes into the game.
Dang.
Before Ali off the tip, Jerry Curl and all. I know they was older than 15. Dude came out there, had a full.
Was it
beard.
the wet one or the dry?
Yeah, because when he jumped up, man, the little wet hit me in the eye. I was over there on the side. You know what I'm saying? He ran the back pick on us. I said, we in the game. I said, we in the game.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt when we played Jimmy King and Ostertag when I was in They was too big.
Yeah.
They just had
Them brothers been held
brothers.
back.
Were they hitting with the?
They was too big.
That was back when they was reclassifying 2 or 3 times just to be older than everybody.
Yeah, man. That was some good days. Jay, opportunity sits before these Huskers, man. They're
it's good. Look, man, it's a good position to be in right now.
Yeah. So, things that they have to continue to grow in and improve. Like I was impressed. I was telling my co-host and partner over there, Austin, like the little things I was impressed with was with many injuries as they had, they only had 1 penalty for 10 yards.
Yeah, I
Stuff
mean
like
that was really good. I felt like the offensive line, the 5 guys blocked really good, and the reason why I'm saying really good for essentially you had 3 guys that hadn't played much, so the continuity was there. I think on the edges they need to get a little bit better, and that's where the tackles for losses came. But I think it's all a growing experience because the edge guys have to get used to the new edge guys on the line, which is Prohaska. And Bryce Benhart been in there, but they get used to that, right? So I'm looking for improvement there. I think the one biggest thing for this team, which is you can't put a percentage on it. I think their ability to handle adversity and bounce back percentage is really good. Now, granted,
in climbing, it's gotten a lot better.
It's way better. They have it. You saw it in the first game,
Mhm.
right? You go into halftime expecting to at least going into halftime, you expect to at least get 3 points. Ideally 7. You throw an interception, so it's essentially that that's -3 or 7 points, right? And you come right out of halftime, boom, big return. Then you kind of get a couple plays, trick play, touchdown. Those are the things that I think with Matt Rule and those guys that have improved. Now, I will say this, and I keep saying this, and it's not that because Bill Bush is here, but I think when Mickey Joseph took over, and then those guys that were on the staff, so I want to give them credit to the holdovers, along with Bill Bush taking a new position, when they re-upped.
We cut from the same cloth, ain't we?
Straight from it.
We ain't had these conversations, but I mentioned that earlier. Go
I
ahead.
feel like the guys that were held over that were originally hired by Scott, but then they re-upped and recommitted to Nebraska and Mickey, and then the whole thing, you saw the improvement. And then I think the culture in the team, they started to play with different energy. Now, there wasn't obviously 100% holdover because, Casey and those guys left. But I think when Matt Rule came, the locker room was a lot better than normally going to a team that just fired a coach, a homegrown coach, and had the losingest record in Nebraska history.
And brought in 40 new players.
And brought in 40 new players, a new quarterback, new quarterbacks, new system, new identity, new culture, new standard expectations. That's easier to do. Now, it's not perfect, right? And that, as you would expect it, but I think it was an easier transition when you have a good locker room that's yearning to win. If you go back and listen when you first started coming, or we started doing the crossover, it was a couple years ago, I felt there was a fabric being pulled. The young guys who are now the older guys on the team, and I feel freely saying this is the only thing I really will say about that, were wanting to do it right. I think you had some older guys that were just cool with doing just enough so it looked good. We call them, sweatsuits and steak guys. Well, when you're a young guy, that, Strick.
Yeah.
You are restricted by your age. But those guys always, you could just, and Strick knows this. I always say it's like when wolves see each other, you just get a sense. I can see it. Like for the 10 people can watch it, and I'm the only one watching, I could tell you who's really in it and who's not.
You were the beneficiary of that on the back end of what you just said happened
in the
4
front
or
end
5
right
years.
here.
That was happening. That tug, that pull was
and
happening
they were just waiting
before
in
you
the
got
wings,
there.
and now they got their chance. And look, they're not home. They're close to getting home as far as getting that bowl game. I'm a big believer. Let's go. We showed the ability not to play our best and probably score more points than anybody projected. In all facets, right? Offense, defense, special teams, and then to make some big plays and have some luck go your way. I think you earn your own luck, and all the while having 3 or 4 turnovers, and you turn the very first play of the game,
and then the defense would have wilted in the past.
Generally, yeah, but they showed some more kickback last year towards the end. So let's get them. So I think Tony White and those guys embrace it as a challenge, and then the offense start going. So I think and they start to get the conventional run game going. And I think the pass game can get a lot better. But guys need to step up, though.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station ID. We'll be right back here during On the Block.
Step up.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
Yeah.
You admiring?
Come on, my boy.
Yeah,
Come on, my
he
boy.
looking for the alien. Yeah, I see.
I would say two things quick to what you just said.
He was looking for aliens.
Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, that's
This is the
exactly
crazy-
right. He
this
was
is the
already up.
crazy
He was
thing.
already up there, Scott.
Downtown shenanigans. I'm telling
because
you.
I seen the Three Stooges over there doing their things. I was about to go out there and see what you got going on there, player. Let me get some of that. Nah, just kidding.
Conventional run game. Heinrich Harburg can't carry 19 times for 22 yards.
That was where I was. Boy,
1.3 yards a carry.
I was about to ask the
Absolutely
same
ain't it. On the make your own luck thing, right? Block field goal, bounces right to Quint Newsome. You think it's luck, but I go back to what Elijah Judy said post-game. We saw on film the left guard wasn't going to be quick. He's going to be slow. If we hit him early, we could knock him back.
Yeah.
Then you get lucky with the mishandled snap. He places it twice. You stick your hand up, you get it, and then it bounces, right? So, yes, it's luck, but there's preparation that goes into it.
Yeah. It wasn't a football follies play where it went through his hands, he threw it, and it went off his helmet, and you get it. And it was definitely prepared for. I mean, look, when you need things to go right when you block a field goal. But the good thing is Purdue was struggling a little bit kicking, because you saw it when we turned the ball over on fourth down. There wasn't even a question of where they were going to go for it or kick a field goal. So you dimed yourself out there as far as what the head coach, what you thought. Then Nebraska did a good job timing up the snap, fork lifting up there, and Judy did it, and then go from there. So you make your own luck, and Nebraska was able to hold force right there, which is good. That's good answering the call after a fumble and defensive return by Purdue. And so you look, they out there playing football. I think the one thing that's with them, they got 4 games left, and the most important game is this one right here. And I said this last week. I think Matt Rule's time in the NFL, where it's week to week, actually works out best for this team in this situation, because I keep saying it and people think I'm crazy. This is a 12 single movie series. It is.
Mm-hmm.
And because the teams, they're getting used to this now. Eventually they'll get to it, right? But I think that the NFL is a week to week league. You've seen it. Cincinnati looked like they're dead in the rights. They go out there. Joe Burrow gets healthy. They beat the brakes off San Fran. They beat them so bad. Brock Purdy is wondering did the clock strike 12 on him, right? Now your
Cinderella story.
Now they right. So now reality. Now
the pumpkin popped up,
right.
and
John Lynch and them thinking like, man, Trey Lance didn't look so bad. And now you up here talking about you're going to put the other dude in there. You always wanted him. No, player. The dude from the Jets that they wasted number 3 pick on. So things can change, and that's the same thing in college. And so once you get on these runs, you get a little bit of luck. You learn how to win. It's easier to correct after a win, but sometimes you actually got to drive them harder after a win.
This is a potential opinion, and it can be short because we definitely want to hinder you guys on old school. Now, I was mentioning, I can't remember if it was you or Nick, but I was mentioning in correlation with Scottie Pippen, and I think I might have shared it with you too. Could it be that some part of Brock Purdy has a little resentment, a little like
he's trying to do too much
because of the fact that when you look up every week, every day,
somebody getting paid.
I mean, and you only make $840,000.
Rashad Gary he's a defensive guy, but he just got paid.
Just got it.
And he just came off of ACL last year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, what about me? Oh, you just traded Trey Lance. So there's some cap room there. Sometimes that does go into your mind, but sometimes you start to really think you're that guy. See, it's like, okay, right? Remember when the Bulls were winning and Jordan and I'll throw
took the year off,
and I'll throw a little body blow at Jordan, right? Because I got some stuff. We're gonna get on a podcast. We're gonna have a debate, Jordan and LeBron.
Okay.
Because I did some studying now, Blair. Okay. Now we're gonna get it. It's just like when Craig Hodges left the Bulls, he wasn't the same Craig Hodges. You want to know why? Because he didn't have Jordan kicking him out. Them threes weren't as clean. So
That's
that
a
shooting, right? So those three-point percentage goes down a little bit.
Because it's challenged more.
Because it's more challenged more. Now, see, like when Brock Purdy's, and I hate to call him a system guy because I really think Brock Purdy is a good quarterback. I think he just didn't get the respect. And I think sometimes people say, oh, you're just at Iowa State. You're not that good. And you know what the funny thing is? They said he was a pro-style quarterback. Well, he's going pros. They wanted the most pro-style. They wanted all the sexy, guys. But guess what? Brock Purdy actually is a legitimate quarterback. Yeah. The problem is I always call it, he's a little bit head over his skis a little bit and trying to do too much. You don't need to prove yourself no more. Just because Trey Lance is gone, now he feels like I got it. No, you don't. There's no reason for him to throw that interception down by 7 in your own red zone. Nobody was there, and you threw it right by 57. Just throw it out of bounds and do your thing.
It's a different kind of chip on his shoulder almost.
It is. It's not even a chip. It's because he's
chasing the bag.
It's a chaser.
It's a chaser.
And when that will affect your focus. He would have never made that mistake last year. Don't feel never. It's like Tom Brady. Tom Brady never lost that edge. Of being that late round pick.
Yeah.
Keep that. Brock Purdy. This actually bye week comes really good for him. Because I think when he comes out of that bye week, he's gonna be back.
Yeah.
Because listen, I know Kyle Shanahan personally. Them conversations ain't good. Don't let the skateboard hat and the flat bill fool you. He down like 4 flat tires and he got some. So he talking to you like me and you be talking, and it ain't very fun. And them film sessions ain't no fun.
Ain't gonna be. I bet.
And they'll be healthy. Which never had a quarterback.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be
hard.
Yeah.
Hard stuff, but it's gonna be healthy.
You're gonna be talking to the man in the mirror.
Yeah.
Man in the mirror might be talking back.
Yeah, that's what George Sullivan used to tell us.
Is he gonna reach out like on the Ring movie where they didn't come through?
You gonna take your soul, or you better take it back, man. Yeah.
Jay Foreman on Old School with DP next. Sit in the middle, man in the middle. Eric Strickland, my partner. We're back tomorrow, 2 to 4 here during On the Block. I'm Austin Norman. It's good to be back. It has been a blast. We'll do it again tomorrow. Don't go anywhere though. We've got Old School coming up next. 93.7.
How are you?
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Problem gambling affects millions of Americans daily, of all ages and walks of life. If your loved one is struggling with addiction, contact Choices Treatment Center's 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. That's 402-476-2300.
Herrick Services takes this time to wish everyone a happy and safe Halloween weekend. With all the parents and kids out and about, they encourage drivers to be careful and respectful of trick-or-treaters. This important message comes to you from Bart, Mike, and the folks at Herrick Services, your vending specialists here in Lincoln. Their quality service and expertise has earned them a fine reputation. That's Herrick Services, on the air because they care.
Most parents have a homework schedule for the weekdays, but don't forget to cover the weekends. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. A good way to avoid a problem is to set a homework schedule for the weekend. Set aside a couple hours of homework time on Saturday and help your student avoid staying up late Sunday night to finish a project. Remember, communicating with your child's teacher is vital for student success.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Constructors Inc., a Nebco company, is now hiring mechanics to maintain fleet equipment and vehicle operations. Constructors offers mechanics a competitive salary, 4-day work weeks with overtime options, a $5,000 hiring bonus, a tool allowance, and great benefits.